So The Boys Diabolical is so good. It has all of the magic that you would expect from The Boys wrapped up in this brand new animated format. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video, we are going to be reviewing The Boys Presents Diabolical, which is an anthology series of animated shorts set within The Boys universe, telling brand new stories, and it has all of the magic and the zaniness and the blood and gore that you would come to expect of The Boys, just with a brand new creative spin. So it's so wicked, and every single episode is a little bit different in style, so it's really similar to The Matrix's animated version, the Animatrix, and I guess you could compare it to animated offerings from Marvel and DC, but it does enough to create a brand new stance for itself and being in its own category as well. And I really love the fact that they brought characters from the live action world that we know into this animated world, as well as introducing some brand new characters. And like I said, I feel like they balanced this really well, as I feel like if they didn't have any of the existing characters, people wouldn't enjoy this show as much as they did. And likewise, if they didn't have brand new characters, it would kind of feel like the same thing that we have seen before. It does skew a lot more towards the newer characters, which is really good. So let's go through all of the episodes one by one. So the first episode was the Laser Baby one. I think this was a really good introductory episode into this whole world, and was really clever how it didn't have any speaking lines, and yet you can still follow everything that's taking place. And it did also feel pretty 90s as a result. The next episode I thought was absolutely outstanding, which is the Unwanted Kids, where the powers aren't as glamorous as the ones that we typically see in superhero TV shows. What happens to the characters that actually have undesirable powers and look really deformed as a result? Absolutely brilliant, as all of these kids are really unwanted and therefore are in a bit of a foster home scenario. And then when they learn the fact that actually superheroes are created and so the parents didn't want them, they then want to go out for revenge and kill all of their parents. And I just think the social commentary on this is really interesting, as it shows both the perspectives of the people that are unwanted and also the people that don't really want them, and also some social commentary on people that are really different looking to other people. And I guess the Brotherhood of Mutants within the X-Men universe have looked at people that have very disturbing different powers, whereas this time it was just so good to have a full episode really exploring this and what happens to people that just look really different and aren't the superpowers that you typically see in superheroes and supervillains as well. The next episode felt like a true companion piece to the Boys live action series, which was Butcher confronting the superhero's drug dealer, and I just loved everything that transpired in this episode. I think Butcher was totally badass, as we know him to be in the live action space, and just worked so well in this space. And all of the different superheroes have different ways of getting high, and what happens when their dosage is too much. Obviously superheroes have a bigger threshold than more humans, but they don't have a limitless threshold, and I feel like Butcher took advantage of this in the exact same way that he normally would do in live action. The next episode may well be my favorite one from all 8, which is the experimental face cream that Vought was creating, which allows people to change their face and their body in exactly the same way that they dream of being and looking like, which I just thought was so fascinating on so many different levels. For example, the first one, everybody's desire for perfection, wanting to be Instagram famous, shallow dating, which is all about how a person looks, and what happens when you go into the relationship and they don't look exactly as the same that they did in the beginning of the relationship, and also just the effects of what happens in a relationship when people are really famous, when everybody is desiring them, and the impact that social media then adds to this as well, the pressures. Even though it was just an animated short episode, I feel like they covered so many things. I feel like the She-Hulk series is exploring this as well, in terms of people really desire the She-Hulk character, but what happens when this desire of She-Hulk turns back into Jen Walters? I just feel like it's such an interesting concept, and of course right at the end, we get to see what happens when you use experimental chemical-based products on your face. Like I said, this episode easily could have been a bit of a movie, which was just so good, and was just so disappointing. The next episode was just nowhere near as good, which was Awkwafina's character being able to control Turd, which I thought, you know, was interesting maybe from a creative point of view, but I just feel like executionally it just did not work. And especially after coming from one of the best episodes, for me it just felt really disappointing. And I just wanted more from Awkwafina, both from a voice acting point of view, as well as the fact that she wrote this episode. So it could have been really amazing, but I was just really disappointed with this particular one. The next episode I thought was pretty humorous, Nubaya and Nubian getting married, and obviously making so much fun of the fact that Black Panther and Storm also also get married in the comic books, and also making fun of Hawkman from the DC universe as well. I just think this material had so much potential, but they went down a little bit of a typical route in terms of marriage issues and kids and what happens when all of these things collide. Like I said, they could have done so much more with it, but it was watchable enough to enjoy it as well. The one after that, though, was really, really good in terms of an elderly couple and what happens when one of their partners is at the end of their lives. And I loved the way in which John was really, really clever and sneaked his way in to get Compound V from Vought and then injected this into his dying wife, and the cancer then became its own character, which I just thought was so fascinating. And Sun-Hee was so emotional in terms of wanting to sacrifice herself and just end this problem that she has created indirectly. And the way in which John's heart is just breaking because he has to see his wife dying on multiple occasions. I just thought this one really, really did pull on the heartstrings. And then the final episode, I feel like was the perfect episode to watch just before you dive into season 3. But also is really, really good to watch after you've watched season 3, which is to see how Homelander became Homelander, his first proper mission as the Homelander character, and what really happened to make him the character that we all know and love. And also it was really, really cool to have Madeline still well back and to see the start of their relationship, and also the start of his friendship with the Noir character and how Noir was really coaching him. And it did hark back to the first season really, really successfully as well. So those are all of my thoughts on all of the episodes on The Boys Diabolical. I absolutely love this series. Like I said, you know, some of the episodes were a lot stronger than others, but on the whole, I feel like it was a really, really cool project and the perfect thing to release during the pandemic and to make it during the pandemic, as obviously there was a large gap between seasons 2 and season 3. I hope that they do a lot more animated spin-offs as this one was so successful. I know they've got that other one which is looking at younger superheroes and a bit of a Hunger Games scenario, which will be really, really wicked. But like I said, I hope that they do more of these as they are super bingeable and they do expand the world of The Boys really, really well. So I'm going to give The Boys Diabolical a solid 7.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of this show, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise I look forward to seeing you in my next video.